In my introductory remarks, I said that this film was like a jazz standard, played in a fresh and soulful way. Well, man, that ending is like the band was playing a low-down blues and suddenly broke into a sunny pop tune. Ugh, not very noir. There are hints in the production files that the ending of Tomorrow is Another Day was changed after negative reaction from a preview audience, probably the usual pack of Pasadena teenagers whose bad taste changed the endings of too many films that were supposed to have downbeat conclusions. In this case, it's really a shame. Imagine this film with a genuinely noir ending. Kay mortally wounds Bill only to learn they weren't being hunted by the law, which I suspect was the original ending. Now, with a finish like that, I'd rate this film a minor classic. But even with the limp ending, Tomorrow is Another Day stands as the best directed film of Felix Feist's career. Later this year, I'll be presenting The Man Who Cheated Himself, another intriguing, if obscure, film noir from the same phase of Feist's career. The Film Noir Foundation, which I'm founder and president, recently completed its restoration of that 1950 film, which will make its TCM debut on Noir Alley in June. Now, the actors portraying the Dawson family did a terrific job of making believable characters and compelling drama out of what could have been nothing more than a plot device. Ray Teal was a familiar face by this time, having appeared for more than 10 years as cops, sheriffs, and prison guards. This was one of the rare instances he wasn't in a uniform, and he got to have a family and be a real character.
That's my wife, Stella, and her boy here, Johnny.
How do you do? You play baseball?
Like Babe Ruth.
Who's he?
His wife, Stella, is played by Lorene Tuttle, whose extensive work in films was matched by a long career on the airwaves, where her skill with both comedy and drama and a mastery of dialects earned her the nickname the Queen of Radio. She's perfect in her pivotal supporting role. And a fine performance is turned in by young Bobby Hyatt, who had more noir films on his resume than any kid in Hollywood. The High Wall, Dark Past, Caught, He Ran All the Way, and Tomorrow is Another Day. This kid grew up in the dark. Now, as for Steve Cochran, where do I even begin? This guy may have been underrated as an actor, but he certainly was not underrated as a lover. Just ask Mamie Van Doren. Years ago, I asked her point blank, who were the duds and who were the studs? Steve Cochran was alone on top of her stud list. To quote Mamie, he'd do me in the morning and Mae West in the afternoon. Cochran's appetite and prowess was legendary. Professionally, the actor formed his own production company in the early 50s with the ambition of following in the footsteps of actors turned producers like John Garfield, Dick Powell, and Burt Lancaster. He formed Robert Alexander Productions, using his real first and middle names, and produced at least one truly terrific film, Come Next Spring, co-starring Ann Sheridan. Now, after that, Cochran powered through middle age in a blaze of booze, sex, and movie making, which left him looking a little rough around the edges while still in his 40s. In 1965, after wrapping up what would be his last film, Tell Me in the Sunlight, which he wrote, produced, directed, and starred in, Cochran placed an ad for an all-female crew to help him scout locations for his next film, Captain O'Flynn. Now, this was aboard his private yacht, the Rogue, traveling between Acapulco and Costa Rica. 11 days out, the boat was found adrift at sea, its mast broken. Cochran had suffered exposure trying to guide the ship through a sudden and prolonged squall. Since none of the three crew members were competent mariners, Cochran's ad had specified no experience necessary, they couldn't pilot the vessel to safety, and Cochran died at sea. An autopsy claimed the cause of death was an infection caused by water in his lungs. And there's a bizarre epilogue. After the actor's burial, Merle Oberon, who had starred with him in Of Love and Desire, demanded that his body be exhumed because she suspected the women on board had killed him. Her request was denied, but Oberon's husband couldn't have been too happy about her concerns. There is, of course, much more to the strange saga of Steve Cochran, but maybe the place to discuss it is on the Noir Alley Facebook page and our Twitter feed. Cochran will certainly be turning up in future installments of Noir Alley, since he's one of the most unique and compelling characters in this burg. But you won't see me around these parts for a while. I'm going out west to work the lettuce field, while TCM brings you 31 Days of Oscar, even though there's never been 31 days in February as far as I know. And Oscar was never very impressed by film noir, so there's nothing for me to do next month. Until March rolls around, take Kay Higgins' advice. Always stay on your toes so you don't wind up on your heels.